Welcome to the Money GPS. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. The situation continues to unravel. I'm watching this very closely. There's so much information, in fact, that this is my second video that I need to record. I've got way too much to cover, okay? I want to look at what's happening with oil and nickel. I'm going to show you the short squeeze that has occurred. I'm going to look at the restrictions that are in place. And don't forget, we're also going to talk about McDonald's. That's right, McDonald's, McD's. But first, Biden says the US will ban Russian oil imports in response to Putin's invasion of Ukraine. This was the talk I mentioned in the previous video. It looked like, yes, if it could happen, then it would be of limited effect. At least initially, we will see. Now, I've also heard the UK, as it says right here, to announce its own plans. We will have to see what happens. Now, these countries here, one by one, could start to generate a bigger effect. But individually, of course, it's more of being a ceremonial action. But I want to see if we start to get 3, 5, or 10 different countries start to say, we're not going to have your oil anymore. That is a little bit of a difficulty for Russia. But at the same time, somebody else could step in to buy it up. Shell and BP to withdraw from Russian oil and gas. Moves come ahead of what people familiar with the matter say is a plan to ban Russian oil imports into the United States. We saw this, of course, that happened afterwards. Russia warns of $300 oil, threatens to cut off Europe gas if West bans energy imports. You ban the imports, we cut off the gas. What's that going to do to Germany? Immediately, it's going to put the country into a recession. It's going to be so fast, it's going to make your head spin. So my friends in Germany, watch very carefully to what happens here. It's absolutely clear that the rejection of a Russian oil would lead to catastrophic consequences for the global market. $300 per barrel, if not more. I don't know what it's going to be exactly, but I can tell you right now, things are wacky as it is. As I record this video right now, the market is just about to close, about 15 minutes before the close, and you're seeing oil at approximately $124 a barrel. It was almost at $130 a barrel. China considers buying stakes in Russian energy and commodity firms. So China could be stepping in. So I'll show you a couple of charts here in a second, but this is something that we need to understand from the geopolitical aspect as well as the markets too, because if China is going to absorb all of this, they're going to buy into Russia as well as, use up their commodities, then number one, their alliance gets stronger, but at the same time, it mitigates some of the potential effects. But what's Europe going to do if they say, no, we don't want any more Russian gas or Russian energy at all? I don't know. That's going to be serious, I think. Beijing talking with state-owned firms for our opportunities. Any deal is to bolster energy and commodity imports. We know this to be the case. They're just looking, at the particular companies they mentioned right here. Aluminum producers, talking about Beijing being in talks with China National, including China National Petroleum, China Petrochemical, Aluminum Corp, China Minmetals Corp. Okay, so you got to see what's going to happen. I'll bring you all the details. If you want to follow along, just hit that thumbs up button, because doing so will make it more likely to end up in your recommended feed. And I've noticed that this has been coming up in the recommended more often. So I do appreciate all those thumbs up. Heading for the exit, foreigners cut holdings of Chinese government bonds at a record pace. Could this be? Some are starting to say that maybe, just maybe, Russia is selling off so that they can have some more liquidity. I don't know what it is. Maybe other countries or other investment firms are saying, we want out of China because we see the risk. That's up to you to decide. At this point, we don't know. Any details, I'll bring them to you. So right now we have China basically saying to France, France and Germany, the opposition to Russia sanctions. So they're basically going in and they are not liking, they're making it official now, that we do not like the sanctions that are being put in place. The Western sanctions will deal a blow to the stability of global finance, energy, transportation, the supply chain, dragging down the world economy. This is important, of course, because all the sanctions that have been put in place, China has said, we're going to stay back. We're not going to mention it. We're still going to do business. We're still going to have friendships here. But now they're officially saying sanctions, not good. This is key, okay? Most Russian crudes are trading at severe discounts given the lack of willing buyers. So is China coming in now and buying at a discount? Are they buying those companies at a discount? Are they taking advantage of the situation? Interesting to say the least, isn't it? On the right-hand side, it just says, sanctions on Russian crude could create one of the largest, most enduring disruptions in the oil market has ever seen. Like, think about that. We are in the middle of this right now. This could be one of the biggest disruptions ever. China imports crude similar to Russia's main export grades, allowing for substitution. So they're used to this. They can do this. And I believe that what's happening right now to Russia is going to push Russia and China even closer together. LME halts nickel trading after unprecedented 250% spike. In the previous video, I was talking about this. Nickel's going crazy. Nickel's going up. It's going up in a straight line. And they had to halt trading. That's how serious this is. All right? And why? Because the top producer, this name right here, I'm not going to bother pronouncing it, under pressure to meet margin calls. The margin calls are coming in, my friends. This is it. The commodity traders, the investment firms, they're starting to get margin called because the prices are going much higher than anybody had ever anticipated. So watch out very carefully, because we don't necessarily have to see a financial crisis where the subprime loans, everybody's looking for subprime loans. They're looking for, tech stocks that have no value to skyrocket to the moon. It can come from anywhere. It can come from anywhere. Canada says that it can says that its oil could replace U.S. imports of Russian crude. I don't know if that's true. We'll see. But will that happen? Well, there is one way that could happen, and I think it was in this article. I thought I had it right up here. But if they turn the pipeline on, that's it. Make it happen. Pipeline goes on, crude goes through, things change. Gold, 2050 on the gold price. Massive, massive. This is a record as far as I'm aware. I can't remember the exact price that it peaked out, but I believe that's a record. Silver is definitely behind, but it is up over the last couple of months here. Looking at this, $26, $26.50 essentially. We have seen the chaos that has brewed, and now it's coming into the gold price. When all else fails, then they turn to gold. You can see the world's top 10 nickel mining companies. Okay, looking through here. The biggest one, Nickel, that's Russia. No doubt. China is up on there. You got Brazil, also very large. Just look through there. But number one on the list, nickel, Russia. You've got a disruption in Russia, you've got a problem. Shoppers scramble for staples as the food fallout from the war in Ukraine spreads around the world. Prices are rising high, and all of this activity today is simply going to push regular people into dire straits. It is a very big concern of mine, and I worry about how the ripple effect will happen, because if people do not have food, they're going to take to the streets. Big concern as far as I'm aware. Surge in wheat prices expected to see more suffering. Again, same situation. You saw what happened with the Arab Spring. It's not a good thing, okay? Palladium steadies from record high on Ukraine crisis reached a record high of 34.40. 34.40. You got to understand, where all of these things were just 6 months ago. All of the analysts, all of the retail traders, all of the forums, all this stuff, they were all talking about the next hot tech stock. And this hot stock is off 5% or 10% from its highs. Now they are down 50%, 70%. Some of them are down 80%. I mean, it's crazy. And those are the ones that were being talked about the most. We have to really broaden our perspectives. And sometimes, hey, maybe commodities could be a good idea. Hopefully people learn the lesson. Speaking of commodities, we got one going on right here. We're talking about toilet paper. Yes. And by the way, before I forget, because I think I'll forget to mention it, McDonald's and Starbucks suspending operations in Russia after, they were being attacked on social media and stuff. You got to stop operations. They finally did that. And I guess that leads me to this here. Procter & Gamble's Charmin Ultra Soft toilet paper 18 count mega package now contains 244 two-ply sheets, down from 264. Essentially, they're just talking about the shrinkflation. This whole article is talking about shrinkflation. How do you increase prices without increasing prices? Shrinkflation. That's why the regular measures of inflation, they don't take this into account. If they're measuring a jar of something, well, what if there's less contents in the jar? They can't figure it out, but you and I know, okay? Because quite frankly, in everyday products, we're getting less and less and less. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm just gonna keep doing more and more videos because there's just so much content coming out. I'll try to keep them as short as I can. This one was reasonably short. I hope you appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, simply hit that thumbs up button. I want to thank you for that. All of this news is coming out and I just bring it to you, okay? So it's coming from all different sources around. I hope you find it informative. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.